This episode of Casual Friday is brought to you by lynda.com.
Oh, you want to go to Stowe Lake and go around the paddle boats? We can do that. Wonderful. Sounds like a great little Saturday.
Oh, God.
Yep. That's my life.
Wait, you go to Stowe Lake?
I did.
So, I'm finding it really hard. Okay, now that the other consoles are coming out, and I know you've been thinking about this problem too, how I can't have both a 360 and Xbox One and a PS3 and a PS4. A, I don't have enough HDMI inputs, and I just don't have the space. So it's kind of like that, okay, what am I never ever going to play that I haven't finished? And it's getting kind of
It's
painful
getting
for me.
scary.
Yeah, life is hard, Adam.
Well, yeah, I'm glad I put my games in binders.
Right.
So now I don't have to look at it. But I was going through it looking for something to play. I'm like, oh yeah, you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not gonna finish Prototype.
No.
Yeah, see, I don't have the binder thing. I have them shrink wrapped still in a stack of games that I know.
That's worse.
I
That
know
is so much worse.
It's worse, but you know, life happened to me
Yes.
pretty hard. Sorry, girlfriend that I proposed to.
See?
Sorry.
Well, just like the engagement excuse only really works once.
It only works once, and I used it. So sorry about that. GTA 5 and BioShock. And
Oh, you haven't gotten to BioShock
no,
yet.
I played it. No, I played it. I haven't finished it yet. Much
Well, at
like
least you've
Last of Us.
gotten into the games.
No, GTA 5 is still shrink wrapped.
That's new. You're in a month still, right?
I have a little time, but Rayman is still shrink wrapped. That's been out for a while.
Yeah.
And I should be all over that game.
Right.
Yes, you actually should be all over it.
I know, and I love it, and I know I love it, and it's one of the few games that my fiance actually enjoys either watching or playing, and I haven't cracked it open because I just haven't had time.
Well, now you've sealed the deal. It should.
I know,
just
now
be
I sealed
open
it.
season.
I know, it's great. Now I can just, I can do whatever I want.
Right.
I think what's scary is I go back even like earlier generations. Like, okay, here's one that it's even hard for me to say it out loud. Majora's Mask.
Wow. Haven't played at all?
Haven't played.
Whoa.
It was, the timing around that year, I wasn't assigned to it. Other things were going on. Time moved on. Okay,
And you call yourself a video game expert, Mr. Seth Lawrence. Finish this game.
And what sucks is I even had that special 2-disc set for the GameCube that had Ocarina and Majora's.
But it was reversed on the GameCube, so you have an excuse.
But the thing is, I wanted to go through Ocarina first before I went to Majora's, and I never finished that playthrough of that, and I have no idea where that disc went. I think someone stole it from my apartment.
See that? I feel like that's the classic problem with backlogs. Is like I talked to one of my friends who, like, hey, you guys got to check out, Mass Effect 3 last year or something like that. And a lot of people have this mindset. It's like, all right, I'll do it. I just got to get through the first 2, and then we're good. It's like, dude, that's never gonna happen. You are never gonna play this game. If you start treating your backlog like, you have to go through the full franchise to get through your appropriate experience.
Yeah.
You're never gonna tackle that.
I mean, I think the best shot for if you have to get through the Mass Effect trilogy, and I've considered wanting to do this yet one more time, is if not summer next year, summer the year after, is when we're gonna have that horrible drought where there's just not gonna be enough content and everyone's gonna wait till the end of the year. That's, but even then.
But also,
I want to do backlogs of the previous year, not Mass Effect.
But also, are you going to want to, because we talked about this earlier, how when the new consoles are coming out, because we have entertainment centers and we want to put them on the shelf, are you going to want to rip everything out and then put the old stuff back in to
they're
get rid of that catalog?
They're gonna have to just put a new coat of paint and make them digitally available. I mean, that's I hope.
Yeah, your back catalog dies in November.
Okay, so what is your most shameful I haven't played it?
Oh man, I don't even want to bring this up. It's BioShock.
Oh!
The original BioShock.
Wow!
So I've played it. I've never beaten it. I've never beaten
How far
BioShock.
have you gotten?
Title
Just
screen.
a couple hours.
Wow.
Just,
Is it for
not
lack of
hard at
interest
all.
or?
Not at all. It's one of those things that, so it came out, was it 2006, 2007?
That sounds. It was the
2000
year
2008.
that E3 was in Santa Monica.
Okay.
And G4 ruined the Halo trailer reveal at the
yes.
press conference.
All right.
Yeah.
That was Cessler sabotage. No, so it came out in a time when I was kind of taking a little break from games. Still read up a ton about it, and then once I got really back into it, I started to play it, and I don't know what it was. I think it's similar to a situation I had with Deadwood, where it's like Deadwood is one of my absolute favorite shows of all time. It took me forever to finish that 3rd season because I knew once it was over, there wouldn't be any more of it left.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm gonna love Bioshock. I loved Bioshock Infinite. I loved, System Shock, Deus Ex, all those games. It's such an incredible experience from what I've heard that I'm kind of like, well, once I finish it, it's gonna be done. There's gonna be no more.
No, it's an interesting point. I mean, I think I feel that way about certain comic books. I
feel that way about TV shows.
I've never had so much pressure put on me when I was probably 14. Went into Comics on Telegraph Avenue in Berkeley. I was buying the collection of Dark Knight Returns. And the guy at the counter goes, "Have you ever read that?" I was like, "No." He goes, "Man, I wish I was you." And I'm like, "Oh, God!" It's like, "Oh my God, what am I supposed to do with that? I feel so much pressure now."
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just that feeling like, am I going to turn the page or should I just put it down and consider it for a bit?
Right. There's an innocence and kind of a naivete to that.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh, you've got your whole life ahead of you, son. Just wait.
Well, you know what? I mean, I think it's fair. I think this is one of the things I like about reviewing certain games is I don't know what to expect because there hasn't been any chatter about it.
Right.
And there are those like very important games. Hell, I'm responsible for making them very important sometimes,
Right.
and it becomes a little bit tough, I think, to get into it because it's almost like it's not for you to discover. It's already kind of sacrosanct what it's supposed to be.
Right. Yeah, the sensation of playing this is a bit of a tangent, but the sensation of playing Skyrim before it came out and before there was, full wikis about every city, every location, every quest, every townsperson, it's kind of a magical experience.
Yeah.
That's one for me. Skyrim.
You haven't played
Come
it?
on.
It's shrink wrapped.
It's shrink wrapped.
Shrink wrapped. I had
But don't you just take the shrink wrap for posterity's sake?
no. I don't know. It's still shrink
Just a
wrapped.
hoarder.
I love spending money.
Hey, can we come over to your place and make Fort Bromley
Yeah,
out of your, and you can go
Yeah.
in there and you can hide it and not invite girls.
It'll be perfect. But yeah, no, that came at a time when I got really busy with work, and I knew that lately, as I'm getting older, I need like pick up and play. I can only spend an hour.
We're talking about the open world games are tough.
Yeah. So open world game like that, where you need to sit down. I want to sit down and devote an afternoon to it, but I have a lot of stuff going on in my life.
That's
I mean, I could stop, repairing my pinball machines and actually sit down and do this, but I enjoy repairing pinball machines because I'm old.
right.
That's what I do.
I have never enjoyed repairing anything.
Not
Even my own life.
Yeah. I don't know. It's something that I got into. I was like, oh, I like fixing cords and wires.
Skyrim is kind of an interesting example because you don't want to take away your you have the 360 or the PS3 version or something.
360.
So you're concerned about moving that off the shelf and putting it in a closet. I wonder if the PC version of Skyrim is so much better than the 360. Like the load times, the textures, everything is so much better. I have to imagine it'd be pretty easy for them to put out Skyrim, I don't know what you call it, HD PC version on Xbox One or on PS4.
But if it could take your saves, I think that's
Skyrim.
Skyrim. That's the biggest issue with Skyrim is that every time I played an Elder Scrolls on a console, I'm like, should I just re-roll a character on the PC? And I'll start. I'm like, oh, hold on, I have to do that stuff again.
Right.
And it's such a daunting idea. Like, I can't do it one more time.
Yeah. So, Adam, anything from this year that you need to finish?
Anything from this year that I need to finish? I mean, yes, there's got to be. Need or should is probably the thing.
Well, we've got our Game of the Year conversations coming up.
Yeah,
fast.
well, I would have to say Lost Planet 3 probably isn't going to be a major contender.
Probably okay with that one.
I think you can skip it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of the key ones is Civilization 5 with all the expansions.
Oh.
Because it's just the damn thing won't run.
But it also never ends.
Okay, that's a very good point as well.
And Steam is an oasis from this problem of clearing stuff up.
But the problem with strategy games is because there is no end. So it's like, if I can sit down, I'm going to devote my weekend, I'm going to see this through. It doesn't work that much with so many strategy games out there. I'm trying to think of what were some of the big stuff in the beginning of the year?
Do you finish Tomb Raider?
I did finish Tomb Raider.
Did you finish Dead Space?
Finished Dead Space.
DMC you finished?
I did.
Man.
I think I've been a fairly good boy this year.
You've reviewed a lot
I
this year.
think that's why my wife is so angry at me.
And that's why my fiance is so happy with me. I devote time to my significant other.
Maybe Scott can lend you a shrink wrapping machine.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. You watch Casual Friday, so you're smart. But what if we told you you could be even smarter? And with lynda.com, you can. They're an online learning company with more than 77,000 video tutorials that teach software, creative, and business skills. You can learn anytime, anywhere, and at your own pace. With courses in web design, 3D and animation, design, programming, and many more, with new courses being added every week. Membership starts at $25 per month, but you can try lynda.com for free for 7 days and support Casual Friday by signing up at lynda.com/casual.